times can you publicly humiliate yourself in 1 week? How many times can you embarrass yourself in the span of 4 days? I guess Keith Olbermann, Katie Poo! I guess K-Poo is desperate for attention again. It has been a few weeks, maybe even a month, since we have talked about America's oldest virgin here on the channel. Maybe Keithy went on this streak of misery and bitterness in a desperate attempt to get our attention. Or maybe, and this is entirely possible, maybe Pooh is trying to get himself nominated for the upcoming second annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. My inside sources told me last year, Keithy, he was very upset over not being nominated. At the time, I really didn't put too much thought into it because Keith Olbermann, he is upset 1,440 minutes every day. But since it seems like he wants to be nominated so badly, I'm going to go ahead and nominate Keith Olbermann for the 2024 Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. Now, of course, the decision is entirely up to you guys as to who will be named the winner. Sorry, Keithy, Casey only has so much power, but I did my part. I got you nominated. The rest is up to you, so I hope you will work hard for the remainder of the year to earn the prestigious title of being America's greatest failure. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. There's an old saying, and I'm sure you guys have heard it before, hurt people hurt people. We have a lot of fun here on the channel making fun of the mainstream media, making fun of Johnny B. Biden and his pretend vice president, Lil Debbie, late night comedians, the dump divers in the WNBA, the Wicked Weave, Joy Reid. We joke about Pat McAfee and his abysmal ratings at ESPN. We have fun making fun of Shannon Sharp. Hey, it's me, Shay Shay! I joke around and make fun of a lot of people, but it never comes from a place of malice. There is no evil intent behind it. I do my best not to attack people on a personal level. I never involve their families. We have a lot of fun with huge embarrassing failures, but we just cover failures. I don't wish failure on anyone. If Bomani Jones achieved the impossible and found a way to success, I'd be happy for it. Matter of fact, I'd even dedicate an entire video to Bobo congratulating him on finally achieving success. Bomani Jones finding success, that would be the equivalent of Keith Olbermann losing his virginity. I joke around for satire and entertainment. There's no malice or evil intent behind it. With Keith Olbermann, it is the complete opposite. I am 100% convinced that Keith Olbermann is miserable in his personal life. Every time I see something about Keith Olbermann, it is always the same story. Keith is upset about something, which in most cases has absolutely no effect on his life, and he's calling for someone to be fired, or he's calling for entire networks to be shut down, or he is floating radical conspiracy theories claiming Donald Trump, Orange Man Bad, wasn't really hit by a bullet. What? Excuse me? Come again? If it wasn't a bullet, Keithy, what the hell was it? Was Captain Doofus using a long-range taser? It was hot in Butler, Pennsylvania that day. Maybe Captain Doofus was trying to cool the Trumper off by grazing him with ammunition that provided a nice summer breeze. Perhaps Trump wasn't even the intended target. Maybe Keithy thinks this was a case of mistaken identity. Maybe the kid thought he was at the range and he was using oranges for target practice. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it, Keithy? Keith Olbermann followed up that delusion with more fake outrage and unsolicited advice. Sunday night, he offered some unsolicited advice to Donald Trump, recommending that he should leave the country. I'd be willing to bet there are more people wishing Keith Olbermann would leave the country. And right now is really the perfect time for Keithy to start his journey because come January, the southern border, it is going to be closed for business. So Keithy has 4, maybe 5 months to get the hell out of here. And if money is an issue, I'm sure we could start a GoFundMe or something and we'd have the money raised in seconds. This fake outrage, it was followed by more unsolicited questions. The victim of Keithy's outrage this time was some dude named Chris Palmer. Apparently, they used to be colleagues together when they were collecting woke welfare from ESPN. Now that Chris Palmer has distanced himself from the worldwide leader in woke, he appears to be thinking more clearly. The other day, after Johnny B. Biden admitted defeat to the Trumper and it was announced that cackling Cam would be the replacement loser, Chris Palmer, he tweeted out some factual information. Cam Harris is the least qualified person in history to do anything. Sounds like the truth to me. All week this week, I have been waiting and waiting for someone in the woke media to list the accomplishments and qualifications of Cam Harris. So far, she only seems to be qualified for a brat girl summer. As expected, Keithy was pissed off with Chris Palmer's tweet of truth. As you guys know, Keith Olbermann, he is highly allergic to the truth. When exposed to the truth allergen, Keithy is prone to violent verbal outbursts. He asked Chris Palmer if he was caught faking again. Now, no other context was provided, so I'm not entirely sure what that means, and I don't really care, because it was the last part of the tweet that caught my attention. Keithy ends his verbal outburst by offering a complimentary ass wipe. Chris Palmer seemed to be bothered by this generous offer. I guess he doesn't take too kindly to other men volunteering to clean his boodle. He responded by telling Keithy to choose his words carefully. Now, I am no expert in the language of tough guys, but my loose translation of this was, shut your mouth or I will kick your ass. What did Keith Olbermann do? He shut the hell up. Problem is, his silence was only temporary. The next target of his fake outrage, Major League Baseball. Now, I'm sure Major League Baseball appreciated the free publicity. For the first time this season, baseball was actually being discussed in the mainstream. A couple of weeks ago, Major League Baseball, they narrowly escaped setting another record low for the All-Star game in the ratings. I remember the night of the Home Run Derby, I was on Twitter looking for something. They announced the winner of the Home Run Derby, and I didn't even realize it was on. I used to love watching the Home Run Derby, but baseball has fallen so far out of the mainstream, it's not even on my radar. I am immersed in the media all day, every day, morning, noon, night. I'm looking for stories, looking for headlines, looking for topics. My email inbox, it is filled every day with viewers sending me ideas for topics. You know how often I see stories on Major League Baseball? Never. You guys don't send them to me, and I don't see them in my news feed. This story involving Keith Olbermann, it is the first story I have seen involving Major League Baseball the entire season. Earlier this week, the Cardinals, they were playing another team that no one cares about. Some dude named Alec Burleson, he hit a home run. Now, as you can see here, his teammates celebrated from the dugout by raising their fist. Now, when you see this video, this image, what do you think? Do you think something sinister is going on here? Me personally, it just looks like a bunch of baseball players celebrating a home run with their teammates. Not according to Keith Olbermann, though. No! This wasn't an innocent celebration. This wasn't dudes supporting their teammate. According to Keithy Poo, this is a form of worship. They are worshiping Donald Trump. They should be banned from Major League Baseball for life. Implode the stadium. Remove the franchise from baseball. These assholes are a disgrace. I'm not making any of that up. Keith Olbermann, he wanted these guys banned from baseball, and he demanded that the St. Louis Cardinals be thrown out of the league. He also demanded that Busch Stadium be destroyed. I think it's still Busch Stadium. Whatever stadium they're using in St. Louis, Keithy, he wants it demolished. I would show you the actual tweet, but Keith Olbermann, he deleted it. I wonder why. Maybe, just maybe, it has to do with the fact that Keith Olbermann, he jumped to conclusions. Maybe it has to do with the fact that once again, Keith Olbermann humiliated himself. In his tweet of fake outrage, Keith Olbermann, he told Major League Baseball players to stick to sports. Well, that's rather ironic. 4 years ago, the woke media, they were encouraging athletes to use their platform to preach the good word and spread the woke faith. But when they are potentially using their platform to support the Trumper, Keith Olbermann, he wants them banned for life. As it turns out, the St. Louis Cardinals, they were not honoring the Trumper. The celebration, it was an inside joke between players. The dude that hit the home run, he was a rapper and a DJ in college. His teammates make fun of him by emulating DJs when he hits a home run. Keith Olbermann, he wanted them banned from baseball for having fun and joking around. This dude is an absolute disgrace. I issue this same warning every time I talk about Keith Olbermann, and I'm going to continue giving this warning because I feel it's important. If you're a young man who is still developing, still trying to find yourself, and you think you're going to find the answers at Woke United Methodist, I would advise you to take a good look at the life of Keith Olbermann. That is what you have to look forward to. That is what you'll grow up to become. A lonely, miserable, bitter, unhinged, deranged, insane, out of control outcast who is so radical, he is not even welcome in the mainstream media. This dude is so radical, he can't get a job at MSNBC. A man that spends weekends at home playing with his cats, the only females willing to be around him. If you're an aspiring deacon at Woke United Methodist and you want to know what your future looks like, it's Keith Olbermann. Give me your thoughts. It's been a busy week for Keithy Poo. At a time when most in the woke media are celebrating Cam Harris, Keith Olbermann, he finds a way to be miserable and bitter. He attacks former colleagues at ESPN. He floats radical conspiracy theories claiming the Trumper wasn't really struck by a bullet. He demands the Cardinals be thrown out of Major League Baseball and players banned for life because they raised their fist after a home run. What the hell is wrong with Keith Olbermann? How can a man who used to be so brilliant fall this far into insanity? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.